Well, all right then. Let's speak about it. There are moments in history where power doesn't whisper, it doesn't negotiate, it doesn't leak to the press. It moves quietly, decisively, and when the world wakes up, the leader of a nation is gone. No resignation speech, no negotiated exile, no slow collapse, just an announcement. So, just in case you've been living under a rock, on January 3rd, the United States confirmed what many thought was impossible. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro had been captured in a US led operation and removed from power. Within hours, footage flooded the internet. Airstrikes mapped across Caracas, Venezuelan citizens celebrating in the streets, and a former superpower suddenly debating whether it had crossed the line or finally enforced one. Think about it. This isn't just a foreign policy story, it's a power story, a legacy story, a warning, and a test of how the modern world handles failed states, authoritarian leaders, and the limits of intervention. Tonight, we're breaking down what actually happened, why it happened, who benefits, who's terrified, and what comes next. Without the talking points, without the propaganda, and without pretending this moment won't be reshaping global norms. This is the Verbal Underground. All right, power to the people. We back to do maintenance. Welcome to the world of the Verbalist One. You're now tuned in. This is the Verbal Underground. Happy New Year's. It's a good feeling to be back on the microphone. And let me go ahead and say what I always say. First and foremost, shout out to the co-host UQ Margarine. But let me go ahead and get it out the way. It's going to be a lot more episodes coming up. And I believe I actually created a blueprint that's going to help me achieve at least 4 to 5 episodes weekly moving forward, especially when it's no guests or interviews involved. I'm going to be introducing what I call a docu-series. For example, we have the Enemy of the State series that I recently began in season 5 with the National Guard. Now, I'm gonna keep it real. You know, the game's so boring. I took half the year off. You know, nobody impresses me. So I'm gonna put my cape back on and I'm gonna get back out there if the people need me. But yeah, man, we're gonna be doing the docu-series with topics that at least over here at the Verbal Underground we deem important to the people, to the culture. And tonight we introduce President Nicolás Maduro, who you know, as the kids would say, fucked around and found out. So you got the intro. Let's roll into chapter 1. What matters right now isn't just that Maduro is gone, it's how he was removed. This was not a coup. It wasn't a civil uprising. It also wasn't a negotiated transfer of power. It was a targeted, high-speed operation involving military strikes on strategic Venezuelan infrastructure, followed by the capture and extraction of the sitting president and his wife. Come on, man. What the Wiz do? We'll get into that later. The operation unfolded within hours, not weeks. And that speed is the point. See, decapitation strategies exist for one reason: to prevent prolonged conflict. The US, we framed this as a necessary action against a leader it had already indicted for narcotics trafficking and terrorism. From Washington's perspective, Maduro wasn't a head of state. He was a criminal running a failed narco state, aligned with America's geopolitical rivals. But from the rest of the world's perspective, something unprecedented just happened. A sitting president was removed without a UN mandate, without a multilateral coalition, and without a clear post-operation governance plan that was publicly outlined. That's why this story exploded globally in hours. Not because Maduro failed per se, but because the rules was just broken. Let's talk about it. All right. The most misunderstood images from this story are the celebrations. We see them, right? People see Venezuelans cheering and immediately reduce it to politics. See Trump supporters versus critics, left versus right. Y'all know the show. But the culture doesn't celebrate ideology. Culture celebrates relief. See, for years now, Venezuelans lived inside a collapse. So total that survival became the culture. Hyperinflation erased savings. Hospitals ran without power. Families split up across borders. Entire generations left behind. So when Maduro was removed, many didn't celebrate America. They celebrated possibility, if we could do that. But at the same time, Latin America reacted with historical memory. See, that region knows what U.S. intervention looks like when it overstays. Celebrations and fear existed simultaneously, and that duality matters. See, culturally, this moment fractured the global narrative. To some, it looked like liberation. To others, it looked like imperial muscle. But to many, it looked like the start of something uncertain, but different. Culture doesn't ask if something is legal first. It asks if life might finally improve. Think about it. All right, let's be honest. Let's be honest about the word no one wants to say out loud: oil. Venezuela doesn't just have oil, it has the largest proven reserves on earth. And under Maduro, that industry collapsed into corruption, sanctions, and disrepair. See, when Trump said the US would temporarily run Venezuela to stabilize it and revive oil production, that wasn't a slip, that was strategy. See, oil isn't just energy, people. Oil is leverage. It funds reconstruction. It stabilizes currencies. It attracts global capital, but it also defines legacies. See, Noriega fell and Panama stabilized. When Saddam fell, Iraq fractured. When Gaddafi fell and Libya disappeared literally into chaos. The difference is never the removal, it's the transition. Who controls oil revenue? Who audits it? Who benefits first? The people or the power brokers? That's where the story will be decided. This operation exposed a global contradiction. The world says sovereignty matters until states fail so completely they export instability. Then suddenly, intervention becomes debate instead of doctrine. See, conservatives, they see strength. Liberals see dangerous president. Venezuelans, they see survival. The real tension isn't ideological, it's temporal. Short-term control versus long-term legitimacy. History punishes nations that confuse the two. If Venezuelans don't see real elections, real representation, and real economic relief quickly, gratitude turns into resentment. And resentment always finds a voice. You know I'm not lying. Online, this became a mirror. One side called it justice. Another called it imperialism. Some saw Trump as a disruptor. Others saw him as reckless. But here's the truth. The internet doesn't determine outcomes. It reveals fractures. I'll say that again. The internet doesn't determine outcomes. It reveals fractures. The louder the reaction, the more fragile the moment. This story isn't viral because it's shocking. It's viral because it forces everyone to confront what they actually believe about power. Think about it. All right, shameless plug, people. Moments like this reminds us that narratives shape reality as much as policy does. At Verbal Marketing, we specialize in helping leaders, brands, and organizations understand how power, perception, and positioning intersect before the story defines you instead. If your brand operates in moments that matter, reach out, because legacy isn't accidental, it's constructed. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Maduro's capture closed one chapter. It didn't write the next. The world will judge this moment, not by how fast a leader fell, but how responsibly power is handed back. Stability without legitimacy fails. Legitimacy without security collapses. The only sustainable outcome is both. And history is already watching. If you want analysis that doesn't insult your intelligence, subscribe to the Verbal Underground. Drop your thoughts below, not slogans, not talking points, but real questions about what power should look like in a world that's clearly changing. Once again, I am the Verbalist One. Happy New Year's to you all, and look forward to the next episode. Until we meet again, peace.